Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sports Zone.
Finally, the Mets had the Braves number to start this season, but that all changed last night. The Braves pounded Johan Santana and the Mets and sent Johan packing in the second inning, the shortest starting stint in his 12-year career. But now it's on to the knuckleballer, R.A. Dickey. The Braves look to keep the bats rolling as they seek a series win against the Mets. Join us for a matinee special here on Sports South. On a rainy day in Georgia, it's time for Braves baseball. This afternoon, weather permitting, it's the third, final, and rubber game of our three-game series between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Good afternoon, everybody. With Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine, I'm Chip Carey. Let's see if the Braves can finish off a great homestand. They swept Milwaukee. They'd love to take 2 out of 3 from the Mets. And an interesting pitching matchup for the rubber match. It's Jair Jurgens and R.A. Dickey going to work. And Tommy, time to get J.J. going for this Atlanta club.
Yeah, it really is. He needs to get out there today and get things back on track and get back to form. And for him, it's been all about location. I've heard a lot of talk in spring training about velocity, but you'll see here at some of these pitches, I don't care if he's throwing 100 miles an hour. Those locations are not where you want to be. So for J.J. today, command the fastball, down and away, push guys off the plate, and that's going to make his off-speed stuff a lot more effective.
And for R.A. Dickey, he's off to a great start. For the first time in his career, he's won his first 2 starts, including beating the Braves in New York. He had a dancer working that day. He has a string of 14 straight quality starts dating back to last July. No reason to think he's going to be anything less than that today, but the conditions are not just perfect for a knuckleballer with the moisture and possibly more rain falling.
Well, hopefully Atlanta can get going with Michael Bourne. His bats come to life, and no surprise, when your leadoff man is effective, your offense looks awfully good. Michael is indeed setting the table. We'll break down his recent surge for the Atlanta offense when we come right back. Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Toyota. Just a little mist at the ballpark. Looks like we're to start the game on time. Braves try to take 2 out of 3 from the New York Mets here at Turner Field. Chip, Joe, and Tom with you. And there's a good look at Michael Bourne. Tommy, one exciting thing for the Braves is seeing that guy in the leadoff spot 150 times or more this year.
Yeah, we talked about that last year at the trading deadline, what he meant coming over here and filling a void that really the Braves have had since the loss of Rafael Furcal. So they're excited about him full season, and he's really started to turn things around. And no surprise, Joe, things have picked up for him.
And he's the subject of our SunTrust Solid Performer because he got off to that slow start. But I'm going to hang a lot of that on all those tough left-handers the Braves were seeing early in the season. And not only did the Braves get it turned around against the lefties, so did Michael Bourne. And when he's getting on base, he can wreak havoc. 4 stolen bases in his last 5 games to go with 4 runs scored. That's what he's here for.
And let's see if he can wreak some havoc on R.A. Dickey, the Mets starter. Jair Jurgens pitching for the 3rd time. Let's see if the Braves can finish off a 5-1 homestand. We'll get you started from the ballpark right after this. In part by Ford, by the Home Depot, by Jamieson Inn, by AT&T, and by Honda. Minutes away from baseball here in Atlanta. Just a light mist continues to fall, but it appears we'll start the game on time. And a real treat for all of us in the Southeast. Everybody remembers Bo Jackson, right? Well, Bo Jackson's in town today for part of his Bo Bikes Bama charity event, and he threw out today's ceremonial first pitch.
At Craig Kimbrell acting as his catcher. Bo looks to be in good shape. That bike ride across Alabama will get him in good shape too. All the proceeds to benefit the folks, the Alabama Governor's Emergency Relief Fund, to help those folks that suffered so much from the tornadoes last fall. And he's going to have some other celebrities riding with him, like Lance Armstrong, Ken Griffey Jr., Desmond Howard, D'Amico Ryans, Scottie Pippen, Peekaboo Street, a bunch of others. So a real good plan there for everybody to try to help raise money for those that were injured and suffered so many losses in the tornadoes.
Still looks pretty good.
Yes, he does.
I wouldn't mind. I think I'd be okay getting in the batter's box against him, but I still don't think I want to tackle him.
No, not with a good head of steam, that's for sure.
Those folks have the right idea. And a great idea for the Braves is polish off the Mets. Terry Collins and his New York squad 7-4 on the year. Different looking lineup for them with Neuenhuis leading off in center field. Murphy and Wright have had a very good series. Lucas Duda, Josh Tolley the catcher. Our first look at Ronnie Cedeno as the starting shortstop. And of course R.A. Dickey pitches and hits ninth.
And for the Braves, Jair Jurgens, 26 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Curacao, looking for his first win of the year. His career numbers against the Mets pretty good. He's 8-5 with good ERA, but he made a start against them on April 7th in New York and did not get out of the fifth inning. Gave up 7 hits, only 3 runs, but he did walk 4 that day. And I guess, Tom, one of the things he's got to be cognizant of, and something you just talked about in the opening comments, is location of that fastball, because he's given up 4 home runs already in just 9 1/3 innings.
Yeah, that was one number that jumped out at me as a number of home runs, and it tells you one of 2 things. A, it's location, obviously, over the heart of the plate, or B, his sinker's not sinking the way he wants it to. So I think that's going to be something he's going to try and focus on today, is get back to commanding that down and away pitch on both sides of the strike, on both sides of the plate, and then kind of get his other breaking stuff to be a bigger part of the game. But he can't do that if he doesn't establish that fastball. And
that's part of the 4 keys to the game, is better command and follow the leaders. The guys that have been pitching before him on this homestand have been pitching deep into the ball game, and he'd like to follow suit today and maybe get into the 7th inning, if not more.
And that could be good for him. I mean, to see those other guys go out there and get going, trust me, he wants to be a part of it.
Different look on the left side of the Braves infield defense with Juan Francisco and Tyler Pasternicki getting the starting assignments. David Ross gives Brian McCann the day off. And that is your Atlanta battery. Tim Welke's the home plate umpire. Mike Estabrooks at first base. Mike Everett is at second. And Paul Schreiber is the umpire at third. Here's your weather. Rain, rain, go away. 61 degrees. Wind blowing ever so slightly toward the left field corner.
Well, the weatherman said that the rain would begin to diminish from about noon on. So guess what? Start diminishing.
So Kirk Neuenhuis strides into the batter's box. He's ready to go, and so is Jurgens. Neuenhuis 3-for-7 so far in the series. One ball, one strike. Neuenhuis has taken great advantage of the opportunity he's been given with Andres Torres out with a calf problem. The New York newspapers today said that Torres is still a week to 10 days away from being back with the big league club. And all Neuenhuis has done is hit .321.
You say the way he's playing, he might make that a little longer.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's certainly younger, the younger of the two, more a part of their future.
Line drive to center. Mike Bourne is there for the first out. And here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy 2 for 9 in the series, 279 for the season in New York.
That's that pitch right there. If he can throw that consistently throughout the game, then he's going to have a good game.
Despite having the work you get in spring training as a pitcher, when you start the season, you still find it to be a process of kind of finding release points and getting your location back.
Yeah, it is. There's still there's still a little bit of a process you go through mentally once the season starts. Because you go through that spring training is what I always said. It's the only time of the year where you can pitch where there's no consequences. You don't care. And I mean, you care obviously to a certain extent, but it's all about getting your work in, getting your feel for your pitches and all that stuff. And I don't care how good you feel when you come out of there. There's still that pressure of, all right, it's the start of the season. I want to get up to a good start. And it's all in how you corral that makes the difference.
Way outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy got jammed. 2 outs.
Good pitch. I've said that for years about the offense too. From a hitter standpoint, you can't put a lot of stock in spring training numbers for a guy who's tearing it up, because that may not be the case when he's facing bona fide major league pitchers on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Once the season starts.
Absolutely. And you know, look, like I said, there's that. Everybody wants to get off to a good start. Everybody wants to have a great year, and I'm sure for Jair it's even more so because he had such a great first half, struggled the second half, struggled with his health, and he wanted to put all those demons away and get off to a good start.
David Wright has certainly gotten off to a good start for the Mets. Leads the league in hitting at .517. And when you talk about consistent, that's the one term you have to use about David Wright this year in particular.
Braves putting on a little shift for him. Did we see that last night?
Don't remember it.
I don't recall it either.
Dan Uggla moved over to the third base side of second a little bit.
And I like what Jair is doing here early on. You know, one way to kind of get yourself a little bit more breathing room on that outside corner if you're struggling to get to it is pitch inside a little bit more so the hitters don't get as good a look at it. So if you do make a mistake, you got a chance to get away with it.
Fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two.
I thought he was holding his ears because it was a lot colder down there than it was up here.
Up the middle. Uggla backhands. The shift worked. David Wright and the Mets are retired in order in the top half of the first inning. Braves coming up against R.A. Dickey. No score at Turner Field. For the skipper, Freddie Gonzalez, Jason Hayward's hitting third. Why not? A .361 batting average and a 7-game hitting streak. David Ross, Tyler Pasternicki, and Jair Jurgens will face R.A. Dickey.
37 years old now, but check this out. Lowest ERA since last May 15th. He is 6th among all those great pitchers you're looking at. R.A. Dickey at 2.64 since last May 15th. I'm not sure that I would have had him in that grouping if you asked me to pick.
I'm sure you would.
14 straight quality starts.
And on 3 pitches, he retires Michael Bourne for his first strikeout.
His 4 keys to success today: slippery when wet. If this mist continues to fall, might have an effect on his grip. And lefties. Lefties have had pretty good luck against him so far, despite what just happened to Michael Bourne. Lefties hitting .478 against him here at the beginning of the year. And his knuckleball, Tom, not like a lot of knuckle balls. He throws it hard. He's up around 80 miles an hour with it.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder than most. But yeah, when he throws it right, awful tough to square it up.
Like that, Martin fouls it back. Strike one to the Braves left fielder Martin Prado. Ground ball toward Murphy. He takes the big hop, and 2 are out. Mets defensively have had some problems in the series. Jason Bay dropped a fly ball last night. That certainly helped the Braves' cause. Ronnie Cedeno gets the start at shortstop, and Josh Thole again led the National League in passed balls last year. Much of that with Dickey on the mound. We'll see if that comes into play in today's series wrap-up. Strike one to Jason.
Dickey's line against Atlanta on April 7th when he was matched up with Jurgens. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed. He did walk 4.
And he struck out Bourne, he struck out Hayward, and he has a perfect first inning too. Second inning now, no score in Atlanta. Don't just watch the game, be a part of it. FoxSportsSouth.com's Game Connect keeps you connected to all the live stats and the buzz around the game. Log on now to Game Connect on FoxSportsSouth.com. Davis, Bay, and Duda coming up for the Mets against Jair Jurgens. JJ got New York in order in his first inning today. And too low for Davis. 1 ball, no strikes. A 6th inning homer in game 1 was the downfall of Tommy Hanson and the Braves. Mets won that game 6-1. As Davis, a high fly, foul left side. Late swing, 1-2 now to Davis.
Wow, what a play. One-handed play.
Nice play.
Bare hands to the block.
Controls the rebound. Very nice.
Pitched it to himself.
Fly ball whacked into right center field and deep. And Ike Davis puts the Mets in front. The home run ball is certainly hurting Jurgens in the early days of 2012.
Well, it's what we talked about in the open. Location, location, location. Did a nice job getting 2 strikes on him. Tried to finish him off with a fastball in, and look where this pitch ends up. Almost on the outside corner. So I think that's one of those things that he's going to have to really try to keep under control is when he's going inside.
Jason Bay takes the ball.
Sorry, a lot of times when you're getting that situation, you know you want to get a ball in, you start to muscle it up and you try and force it in there instead of just throwing it in there, and that's something he's going to have to work on.
Well, going back to the home run he hit off Hanson the other day, which was a breaking ball, the scouting report I saw on Ike Davis was go soft early and then go in hard late. Like when you get ahead in the count, you can run the ball in on him, and the Braves have not been able to do that. Or if they have, not consistently.
Right, he went soft early there to get, to get to strike 2, the curveball that he fouled off for strike 2, but then, like you say, you got to follow that up with the hard in, and the in better be in.
Well, and in defense of David Ross on the call, he was set up inside. The pitch wasn't delivered there. Take a look at where Ross was set up here.
And you can see, to me, he's trying to force that ball in there. His front side's flew, and he's trying to overpower it instead of sneak it in there.
3-2 to Jason Bay. That goes back to our discussion last night. Command versus control.
Yeah, that's control because it was a strike. He didn't command it where he wanted it.
And he walks Jason Bay on a 3-2 pitch. 1 in, 1 on, nobody out for Duda. Duda hitting 171, 3 homers, 5 runs batted in. Duda 0 for 8 to start the series. And a quick strike. Doesn't he look a little like Brian McCann?
I was thinking that the other night. He's a little bit of Brian McCann, and he's got a Denny Nagel's eyes. There's something about his eyes that remind me of Denny Nagel, but I did think he looked like Mac a little bit.
Mm-hmm. This guy that just came in our booth reminds me a lot of Bo Jackson.
He does?
Uh-huh.
Looking for a job.
This booth's full, buddy.
They said somebody up here is getting canned within the next week, so I figured I'd run in and set in real quick.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No balls and a strike to Lucas Duda. Bo Jackson's here, and a little low. Pretty good first pitch, huh?
Bo Bikes Bama.
Bo Bikes Bama, man. That's what it's all about these days.
Now, how many miles?
About 300 miles. You all should come and join me.
Attaway.
I'll furnish the bikes.
Well, you just said somebody's getting canned, so one of us can, but the rest have got to work.
I don't know which one, but that one that's getting canned, hey, you're more than welcome. We got space for you.
Why are you doing the bike ride, Bo?
I'm doing the bike ride to raise money for the tornado victims of last year when the tornado went through the state.
Still got pretty good form.
You got to finish your pitch a little bit there. A little upright.
Yeah, but that's how I used to do it when I threw you guys out in spring training from right field. Throw it and look at it in amazement.
1-1 strike the count to Lucas Duda. 1-0 Mets and an Ike Davis home run to lead off the second inning.
That was a pretty good list of people I saw that were going to join you, too. Biking with you. They're going to be with you the whole trip, like Lance Armstrong, Scottie Pippen, Ken Griffey Jr. Or are they going to?
No, actually,
spots?
most of the guys are coming in on different days. The only one that has proclaimed that he's going to ride every day with me is Ken Griffey Jr. So I'm looking forward to that.
Duda singles. Runners first and second, nobody out.
It's a great cause, certainly, and I know the people and the governor of Georgia or of Alabama are going to appreciate it very much.
Yes, it's my home state. That's where I'm from, and whenever I can do something to give back, because the state have given me so much, I always do what I can to represent my home state.
Josh Tolley hits. Tolley 3 for 7 in the series with an RBI. And ball one to Jurgens. Miss Major League Baseball, Bo?
Not really. Like my freedom. Love being a dad. Actually, after the strike when was it, 94?
When was it, Tom?
94.
94, the strike, 94, 95. I got the first time that I got to spend quality time with my family, taking the kids to school, going to parent-teacher conference. And in 95, when we settled the strike, I had 3 teams looking at me. I think I'm going to stay home.
If there was one that you missed more than the other, would it be football or baseball?
I can't choose.
No?
I have to take the political route. I can't choose. I can't choose. Actually, you have fun in both, but it's on different levels. The intensity level. Baseball is laid back. You have fun. You joke around with your buddies in the dugout. In football, you just want to go out and knock somebody's jock off there. So.
1 ball, 2 strikes to.
That's what Brian Bosworth told me.
That kid got in the way of progress that night. That's what that was. He got in the way of progress. And you know, you cannot stand in the way of progress these days.
Fouled away by Tolley. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So, baseball. Favorite baseball memory, what was it? Because there was a whole bunch of them, but.
Wow. Actually, my favorite baseball moment, it had to do with me purposely getting thrown out of a game.
Really?
I got thrown out of a game on purpose.
For what reason? Can you tell us?
Yes, I can tell you. But I actually told the ump that I was going to say something to him to really get him riled. And I took a 3rd pitch strike right down the pipe. And he called a strike, and I got in his face and said that it was a ball. And I called him a few choice words, and he tossed me out of the game, and I said, thank you. And I walked off the field. I ran up to the clubhouse, changed clothes, put on my clothes. I didn't even shower, and got in my car, went to the hospital, spent the day with my wife and my daughter and my newborn baby. So got thrown out of the game on purpose for that reason.
That's a good reason.
So, yeah, get a lot of brownie points with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell the umpire why the next day?
No. No, because he probably would have told somebody in the media, and then they would have found out, then the team would have found out. I would have got fined.
But the secret's out now.
The secret's out.
As Cedeno hits. Runner tries to steal third. He'll do it standing up. Jason Bay got a big lead. And he's got his first steal. And they're at first and third now with one out. Fly ball could add a Mets run.
Only the second stolen base for the Mets this year, and when you're not running much, pitchers tend to ignore you a little bit, and Jason Bass stole it standing up.
So, Bo, when's the bike ride start? What day does it start?
The bike ride starts next Tuesday, April 24th, and we finish the ride April 28th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The ride starts in Henniger, Alabama, which is only about an hour's drive from here, and which is in the northeastmost part of the state. That's where the tornado left the state. So we're going to take the same route that the tornado took, but we're going to go backwards and ride all rural roads. And I have a lot of celebrities that have come in to help support me and ride with me. A lot of business execs, politicians, trying to get the whole state involved.
Well, if someone wanted to help out, wanted to make a contribution, how do they do it?
It would very much please me to have anybody out there that's listening to go to the website bobikesbama.com, or go to the Twitter or Facebook. Just type in Bo Jackson 50555 and look at all the information that we got.
Francisco to Ugla, and around the horn. It's a double play. Bo, it's great to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In closing, I like to say, if anybody's out there that's going to go to the website, just look at what we're doing. Find it in your heart to donate $1 to this cause. I know it's a hard time for everybody as far as the economy is concerned, but if you find it in your heart to donate $1, that $1 can make a world of difference, especially for the people that was affected by this tornado.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ride safe,
young man.
Good to see you.
All right now.
Brian Bosworth got in the way of progress. Bo Jackson, our guest in the second inning. Again, Bo Bikes Bama, if you'd like to help with his wonderful charitable cause to help those folks who were so devastated by the April 2011 tornadoes. 320 folks were killed in those horrible storms last year. And Bo's trying to give something back to the great state of Alabama. We hope that you'll join him in his cause. And our thanks to him for spending a part of his day today with us. One nothing Mets on an Ike Davis homer. Nice job by Jurgens to get the double play ball to stop the bleeding in the top of this second inning. Now we'll see if the Braves can get back even with R.A. Dickey.
Well, here's a guy I'd like to figure out something about R.A. Dickey because he's never had a hit off of him. Dan Ugla 0 for 23, which has got to be tremendously frustrating for Dan. Had a good cut there. Dan would like it if one of those knuckleballs would just stay about letter high.
Ground ball to Murphy. He'll charge and retire Ugla. 4 up, 4 down for R.A. Dickey. Time for the AT&T U-verse trivia question this afternoon. Since 2010, R.A. Dickey has the second lowest ERA against the Braves. Who has the lowest ERA with a minimum of 50 innings pitched against Atlanta?
You would figure it would be somebody in the National League East to rack up that many innings.
Dylan G immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, right.
Guys, same approach that Freddie Freeman employed last night against Santana. Does that apply with R.A. Dickey today?
I don't think he changed anything.
Well, he pulls one, and that's headed to the right field corner. And Freddie Freeman's going to have an extra base hit. A 1-out double is the first Atlanta hit of the game.
But it does apply, and it did apply there, because if you're thinking about trying to pull a knuckleball, you're giving in already. You still got to think about hitting it the other way. But he got one that stayed middle in, kept his hands back, and still was able to turn on it. Hey, the warning track is really saturated. It's rained quite a bit since last night, and it's drizzling now.
Juan Francisco homered here last night, his first as a Brave. Let's see if he can chase home Freeman and get this game tied.
Got a pitch out away from him from Manny Acosta last night. He just went out and got it.
Got the big part of the bat on the ball. Like we said, it looked like he hit it one-handed, but I think it was more the extension and drove that ball into the gap.
403 feet.
Well, that's the book on Francisco. He's got big-time power. In his days with Cincinnati, hit a ball totally out of the Great American Ballpark, some 500 feet from home plate. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Braves have their new ivory uniforms on today, looking sharp.
Left side into the seats. No play for the Mets. Count still 2-2. We head to Arizona after the game. The Mets head back home.
Me too.
You didn't pack?
No. I was going to go, but I forgot to pack, so.
Towering fly ball right center field and deep. Back goes Neuenhuis. That ball is gone, and the Braves lead.
It's obvious that he didn't, but it almost looked like he got jammed a little. Let's take another look at the location of, well, that wasn't a knuckleball. That's why he got jammed a little. Tried to sneak a fastball by him.
Similar to the ball last night, I wasn't sure how well he hit it, but I kept watching Neuenhuis just keep going.
Yeah, that was a fastball riding up, and you can just see how he had to pull his hands in a little bit to get the barrel to it. Man, is he strong.
Just like that, the Braves lead. Now Dickey, a very good fielding pitcher. handles the wet baseball on the soggy infield and handles for the second out. Forecast today calls for showers, intermittent showers all day long. Might be a little heavy rain headed our way, but then it's supposed to clear out or clear off. As Joe mentioned, as the day goes on, the weather's supposed to improve in Atlanta. Infield fellas look all right from your perspective?
Not too bad. Yeah, warning track looks brutal, but the infield looks all right.
Just because the lights are on, you're going to start seeing a little shine if it starts getting too wet, too saturated.
Strike two for Tyler Pasternicki. Tyler sprays one to the right. Good catch by the ball boy. We'll do it again.
Our crack meteorologist in the truck, Flip Feinberg, says that once this passes through, we should be okay.
And that'll retire the side. Freddie Freeman and Juan Francisco. Both of them with extra base hits. Juan's left the ballpark, and it turns the game in Georgians and the Braves' favor after two. At the infield surface, his crew will be ready if needed this afternoon. Steady, drizzly rain falling at the ballpark, where the Braves lead by a 2-1 score. Let's join Beth Keener for the first time today. Hello, Beth.
We've got some great fans here at the ballpark today, and we also got some great fans online, like Ryan Kilpatrick made a funny comment. He said, it's a 12-10 first pitch for the Braves today. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a holiday, right?
Holiday in my book. Why not? Come on out.
Already showed a sign of a few fans playing hooky from work. And some kids down below have the shirts off. Some youngsters waving them around, maybe playing hooky from school too. 2-1 is the score. And strike one to R.A. Dickey, the Mets pitcher, leading off the third inning. Francisco charges, takes his time, and gets the pitcher for the first out. Here's Neuenhuis. He lined out to start the game for New York. Ball one.
Nice for Jair to get a restart after giving up the homer. Have his teammates come right back, put 2 on the board, and give him a little more hop in his step to get back out there. Field's getting really wet.
Yeah, Jair did a nice job after the home run of managing that inning. Don't forget it was first and second right away with nobody out, and then base stole third, first and third, nobody out, and a big strikeout and a double play, and teammates come right back and pick you up.
Now a full count to a former high school football star in Denver, Colorado, Kirk Neuenhuis. Led Denver Christian High School to the 2A football title. Had some scholarship offers to play football at Air Force, Colorado, and Colorado State. Chose baseball instead. And here he is in the big leagues starting in New York. 1-out walk, second of the game for Jurgens. Daniel Murphy will be the hitter. The Braves are excited to announce demand-based pricing for all outfield tickets. With this new pricing, a discount is built into the ticket price. As the game date approaches, prices will fluctuate based on demand, so fans can save on popular games when they plan ahead and buy those tickets early. For more info, visit braves.com/pricing.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Braves have done a great job of making their tickets available to everybody in every price range, anywhere in the ballpark, on so many different levels. Whether it's single game, whether it's a 20-game package, a season package, there are a lot of options there for everybody to bring your family to the ballpark.
Runner goes, the pitch popped back toward us and just out of reach. And your next chance to see the Braves at Turner Field is on April 27th. Friday night with Pittsburgh Pirates coming in for the first of a 4-game series. And we'll start the month of May with our first look at the Phillies for 3 games. Again, the runner goes. Pitch outside. Ross's throw on the money, but late. First steal for Neuenhuis.
David Ross could not have made a better throw, but Neuenhuis beat the throw because of a good jump that he got from the pitcher. Neuenhuis would have been here last year. He would have been here sooner, except that he hurt his shoulder last year swinging the bat in the minor leagues and missed the whole second half of 2011.
Two and two to Murphy. A lot of pitches for Jurgens. The next will be his 55th.
We've been talking about command of the strike zone, Tom, and working both sides of the plate, trying to stay out of the middle of the plate. And when he's not able to do that, the residual is now 5 homers. But it's also now 8 walks in 12 innings. That's a huge number for Jair Jurgens. So it's this command thing is not just about middle of the plate, it's off the plate too.
Yeah, it is. And you know, again, it's a question of maybe trying to be too fine early in the count, or you know, trying to force pitches late in the count when you're trying to put guys away. And you know, obviously the being too fine early in the count can lead to walks, and then the forcing pitches later in counts can lead to home runs. But, you know, you can't have the walks and the home runs. You know, if you're going to be walking guys, you better not be giving up home runs. And if you're going to be giving up home runs and they're solo home runs, you still got a shot to manage the game.
David Wright, straightaway center. Bourne going back. He's gone as far as he can. It's off the base of the wall, and it's a relay race around the third base bag for the Mets. And 2 runs will score standing up as David Wright doubles home Neuenhuis and Murphy.
Well, it got 2 in, but it came close to being a 3-run homer. He's now got a 9-game hitting streak and making up for lost time in all the games he missed last year. And a great job of base running there by Murphy.
7 RBIs for David Wright, and the seesaw affair continues now with the Mets ahead by a run. Davis bats with 1 out. Ripped off the glove of Freeman into shallow right. Wright's going to try to score. Throw to the plate is going to get him easily. The old standard 3-4-2 gets David Wright for the 2nd out.
Tim Tuffle at third base, the new coach at third base for the Mets this year, former Major League player, must have thought this ball was going to carry him farther into right field. On the wet grass, it didn't. Ugla got to it quickly, and David Wright was an easy out. Nice play backing up by Dan. That helps.
Here's Bay. Hey, with a wet baseball, why not take a chance?
I see him taking a chance with 2 outs. I don't know about with 1 out.
Yeah.
You got Jason Bay coming up first and third, 1 out. But Ugla made a good play. Give him credit.
0-2.
Momentum that Jair had a moment ago now shifts back to Dickey, who gets the 1-run lead.
Now from 0-2 to 3-2 with Jason Bay. 3 walks in the game. 2 of them have scored. Davis a solo homer. David Wright a 2-run double for the Mets. Juan Francisco a 2-run homer for the Braves. R.A. Dickey. That's where we stand on a soggy afternoon at Turner Field, although the rain is lessening a bit. Fly yanked down the left field line. That'll reach the seats foul.
David Wright is off to some kind of good start and using the whole field.
Fourth walk of the game, third of the inning.
Larry Jurgens turned his back on home plate after this call didn't go his way. Sherwin Williams painting the corner shows it was just a little off the plate, and a good call by Tim Welke. Good patience by Jason Bay too. Third walk of the inning.
And now Duda bats with 2 aboard and 2 in for New York. And 2 to Duda.
I'll be interested to see what he does here. This is the 6th hitter now that he's gone 0-2 on. The other 5 guys that he's gone 0-2, he hasn't been able to put them away. He's had to throw 18 more pitches to those guys. So that's part of the problem right now, is he's not putting guys away, which enables them to see more pitches, which enables them to live a little bit longer and wait for a mistake. And when they get the mistake, they're hitting it hard.
Those extra pitches have added up to 69 now. And JJ not out of the 3rd inning yet. Is now as Duda frozen over the inside corner. David Wright's 2012 season continues in spectacular fashion. A 2-run scoring double turns the game back in the Mets' favor. And Dickey, the starting pitchers, both have been touched for homers. David Wright has put the Mets back in front.
Yeah, long ball is a story of the game today. A couple of homers and one that was almost a homer. Ike Davis, the first one in the 2nd inning, put the Mets on top. His 2nd homer of the series. Likewise for Juan Francisco, his 2nd home run and in as many at bats. Going back to last night. And then David Wright, as Tom Glavine told you last night in his scouting report, he likes the ball down and in. That wasn't too far in, but it was down, and he almost golfed it out of here to put the Mets back up on top.
A little groundskeeping work by Ed Mangan, and that's our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Casual fans, Tommy, might wonder why the adjustment to the mound in the batter's box is being made while the Mets are on the field defensively and not the Braves in their home field.
Well, and most likely it's either one of 2 things. Either, certainly on the pitcher's case, if RA came out and said, hey, I want this fixed and dried up a little bit, then they absolutely have to come out and do it. Or sometimes I've seen it too where, you know, the ground crew will get together with the umpire and they'll ask, and the umpires will say, hey, it's okay, but maybe at the end of this inning we'll go out there and we'll tidy it up a little bit. So that may have been the case too. But more times than not, when you see him do anything to the mound, the pitcher on either team has requested something be fixed.
Even cleaned off the scratcher.
Yeah, that thing works for about 2 or 3 swipes of your spikes, and then it's full of mud and you can't hardly get anything off anyway.
Did they just used to have a tongue depressor or something out
well,
there?
Yeah, we did. So who was it that had the nail file in their back pocket and was it
Joe Negro,
right? So yeah, we used to have tongue depressors back there, and then after that incident, every time you had a tongue depressor, you'd have people, hey, he's cheating, he's got some. It's like, come on, I'm just cleaning out my shoes.
Actually, I think what Joe had might have been a nail file, wasn't it?
Yeah,
an emery board.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he had to give himself a little manicure between innings, or
right.
You know, keep those knuckles good or those fingernails good.
And he threw a knuckleball.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
requires work.
Yeah. If hitters can wear arm guards, why can't the pitcher clean up his nails when he's trying to throw a knuckleball?
Here we go.
and we gave him one last night. We gave him that pop-up that was lost that Matt Dias says there were 7 of us that didn't see it. I thought that was pretty good.
But Randall Delgado pitched around that, picked up the win. The Braves have some work to do with the bats. Down a run, 3-2 here in the 3rd inning. Jurgens, Bourne, and Prado coming up. Line drive right. Better hustle to first, JJ. And he gets there without a throw. And a leadoff single for Atlanta.
High knuckleball took it the other way, and you're right, Chip. With Lucas Duda playing shallow and having a very good arm, there was the thought, I don't know if that were Jeff Francoeur, he would have cut it loose.
Like I said, I'm kind of surprised he didn't make a little bit more of an effort to try and throw him out. Although with the wet ground out there, last thing you want to do is slip and have it go to the wall.
Bourne takes high as he showed a bunt. 1 ball, no strikes. He smacks one over short. 2 opposite field hits in a row for Atlanta here in the 3rd inning.
With the Exmo camera on the knuckleball, and you see how little it's spinning. But again, Tom, another one that stayed up a little bit, didn't dip down below the knees.
Yeah, it's funny. The knuckleball, much like the sinker or the changeup, you know, when you got a guy out there that your game plan is to stay back and try to go the other way. Obviously, even with the knuckleball, when that knuckleball is up just a little bit, it gives those guys that little bit extra edge to get the meat of the bat on the ball and drive it the opposite way instead of chopping it or popping it up like they had been.
Martin Prado grounded to second his first time up. 2 on, nobody out for the Braves. And that went in for a called strike.
Martin is one of those guys he's got to have a good toe hold for his right foot. He likes to dig that spot down in there pretty deep so he can set his right foot. And on the wet turf like this and the wet dirt, and after some drying agent's been put on top of that, it's kind of hard.
He's still digging.
Yeah, he wants something firm.
Fair and down the 3rd baseline. That'll at least tie the game. Jurgens scores. Bourne gets the green light. He's going to score. Prado doubles. It's 4-3 Atlanta.
one of these pitchers can stand prosperity. Lead flips again. A nice piece of hitting by Prado to keep this fair. Always nice to hit a double when you got Michael Bourne at first.
Martine's 4th RBI. Now Jason Hayward, who was struck out swinging his first time up. 4-3 Braves in the 3rd. Popped up. That'll reach the seats. How about Jason? He's been everywhere in the batting card this year. He's batted 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th.
He's working his way to the middle. That was what was nice because of his good work.
I think
Second last night.
I think that's an indicator of what kind of season he's having, that Freddie has the confidence to move him around.
Last night we talked about how the Braves made adjustments on Santana versus their first look at him opening day and how they knocked him out early. Well, already today, we're only in the 3rd inning. The Braves have as many hits and 4 runs compared to 2 that Dickey allowed them in 6 innings in New York. So great adjustments today too.
Broken bat pop that Davis will catch. And Jason's out number 1. Georgia Power customers can get a free in-home energy audit performed by an energy expert from Georgia Power. Learn ways to save money and energy around your home. To schedule an in-home energy audit, go to georgiapower.com. This would be a great time for Dan's first ever hit against R.A. Dickey.
Well, with everybody else changing their approach a little bit and going the other way, it'd be nice to see him try and do that right here with the second baseman holding Martine on. There's a huge hole over there at second.
And for Dan, going the other way doesn't mean he's got to go into the right field corner. Just a thought of right center against the knuckleballer might help.
That might work even better. Deep left. Goodbye, 2-run homer.
Call, Chip. Good time for his first hit against Dickey, and it turned out to be a long one.
And he obviously was thinking about going the other way, just like
you said. The only reason that ball was hit as hard as it was.
The last 2 games, Braves are doing some damage against a very good Mets pitching staff. That's encouraging.
Up. Another one above the belt, and this one didn't do anything.
Nope.
So Dan's on the board in 2012. One ball, 2 strikes. 4 runs across here in the 3rd inning. All the Braves need is the triple to hit for the team cycle against Dickey in the 3rd.
Where have you been? Let's go back to the home run. I will show you something. If you're a fly buzzing around Dan Uggla, you're going to get smacked. You're going to get backhanded so bad. Because watch how he gets his hands working here with that bottom hand and sweeps that bat through there. It's almost like he's swinging a tennis racket in a way with that backhand with his left hand, and it's so fast through there. So if you're a fly, don't go anywhere near him.
And that's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Dan's first ever hit against R.A. Dickey is a big fly.
Yeah, thank you.
To make it 6-3. Juan Francisco has a big fly today too. A 2-run homer in the 2nd. So he's homered in 2 straight games as a Brave. Little pop toward 3rd. David Wright in foul ground. Got an excellent jump. And handles on the soggy track. But a big inning for the Braves. They played 4 runs. They do it on 4 hits. Prado with a 2-run double. And Dan Uggla hugs all around as the Braves lead by 3 after 3. We head to the 4th inning. Let's check in again with Beth.
I'm just here staying out of the rain with the fans in the Chop House here and found a tweet by our own Braves radio announcer, Jim Powell. He mentioned Scott Wimberly's tweet. He said, Scott Wimberly, that is, said, just got done with R.A. Dickey's book, Wherever I Wind Up. It is phenomenal. A must-read for all.
I have not read the book, but I've heard the same thing about R.A. Dickey. As many of you know, he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro during the offseason to help raise funds for the prevention of human trafficking. There's Mr. Powell.
Dapper Jim Powell.
Josh Tolley leads things off for New York. And Michael Bourne had him played very well in left center. He tracks it down for out number 1. The other part of the amazing story of R.A. Dickey, we all know the baseball side of things, didn't have a ligament in his right elbow, was a first-round draft pick, lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in bonus money when during the medical discovery that was or the medical examination that was discovered. But R.A. Dickey in this book openly talks about he was sexually abused as a young man, and is very open and very honest, in the hopes that in telling his story he will encourage others who suffered that horrific crime to come forward and help other people. Cedeno, a fly ball to center. In the raindrops, Michael Bourne's got that. 2 outs.
Yeah, and I especially like the title because it's a real long title to the book, but something about his search for perfection and in life and travels and the knuckleball.
Yes.
It's a real grabber. So I'm anxious to read it too.
Strike to R.A. Dickey. He gets out of the way. It's 0-2. Jurgens pitching with a little more conviction now with the lead and more efficiently with the bad weather over the ballpark. Comebacker. Easy inning for Jurgens, just what the doctor ordered. He keeps momentum in the Braves dugout. Atlanta back to work with the bats, leading 6-3. It's not a comfortable day for them or for the performers. But these fine folks are hanging in, and they are our McDonald's fans of the game.
I give them a lot of credit because it's not all that warm in addition to being wet.
Bad day at the ballpark's better than a good day at work, right?
Or in class.
Or in class, that's right.
And they're even sitting in alphabetical order. They spelled Go Braves the right way. David Ross starts the Braves fourth, then Pasternicki, then Jurgens.
I pretty much butchered that title for R.A. Dickey, but it is a long one. And the whole title is Wherever I Wind Up, My Quest for Truth, Authenticity, and the Perfect Knuckleball.
David Ross into left center field. That's going to get down. 7th Braves hit. And David's first of the day. Yeah, if you're a baseball fan, if you're a fan of people overcoming a lot of things, get the book and read it.
Yeah, it sounds like a good read. I'm looking forward to it.
Here's Tyler. He struck out swinging back in the Braves second. Atlanta scored 2 in that second. They scored 4 in the third. Lead 6-3.
Who's got the whistle? Did we ever find out who's got the whistle? Is that one of the vendors?
I think so, but I'm not sure. David Wright handles a high hop. Nice turn. Not in time. Pasternicki beat the Rap at first. 1 on, 1 out. And Jurgens coming up with Pasternicki at first. All right, since 2010, R.A. Dickey, the second lowest ERA against the Braves with a minimum of 50 innings pitched. Who's first, fellas?
I'm going to have to go Roy Halladay.
Cliff Lee. Dylan G.
Huh. Should have thought. Yeah, we should have thought of him too.
Perfect bunt. And Dickey takes care of Jurgens. Pasternicki at second on a 1-3 sacrifice.
No, Tom, I'm sorry. He wasn't on my radar either. Didn't have him there.
He should have been, because for me anyway, because I mean, every time we'd face the guy, that'd be like, God, we never get any runs out this guy.
Well, does that fall under the if you can't beat him, join him philosophy if you're a general manager?
Well, I guess so. While we have a little time out here, I want to do a little happy birthday wish. Good friend of mine, Andrew Adams, turns 11 years old today, so I think Mom's home taping the game. Sure, I know he's not out here. He's at school today, so when he gets home today and watches this, Andrew, happy birthday, buddy.
Is he a hockey player?
No, baseball and golf.
Okay.
So
smart.
Yeah.
Quick meeting on the mound breaks up. Here's Michael Bourne. And Tolle got enough leather on that ball to keep it from going to the screen. It also kept Pasternicki at second base.
Nice stop there by the Mets catcher. This misty, that's more than a mist. It's even more than a drizzle right now. As long as the mound is okay, and as long as the batters aren't slipping around in the batter's box, we'll play on. As soon as one of the pitchers slips, that's going to be cause for concern.
I wonder if there is good weather for a knuckleball, or particularly bad weather for a knuckleball.
I remember, and I hope I've got this right, but Charlie Huff, when I played with him, talking about how he'd way prefer to pitch in windy conditions with the wind in his face than with the wind behind him.
I know that was always good for a changeup. That was one of the few things about pitching a candlestick, was the wind was always blowing in your face.
Dickey thought that one good enough, but he walks Michael Bourne. Now 2 on with 2 out. I'm not sure if humidity is good for a knuckleball. It's 100% humidity, and Dickey's having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, again, slippery when wet. That was one of the keys to his success today, and I don't know if that's affecting the movement on the ball or not, but he's left a lot of knuckleballs up today.
And activity begins in the Mets bullpen. Miguel Batista.
He worked an inning and 2/3 last night.
Martin didn't mean to, but is down a strike.
Credit to the ground crew and Ed Mangan and his staff, how much water this field's taken without it looking like it's getting real sloppy.
We won't know till the game's over, but we can ask the infielders too how the new grass on the infield handles all that extra moisture. New type of grass, a little spongier, the guys have said. Fly ball center field on an 0-2 pitch. Neuenhuis is there, and that retires the side. Time for a little groundskeeping. Braves up 6-3. afternoon, parked by Blippi, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Georgia Power, and by Nissan. Now Jair Jurgens gets a little mound maintenance as he comes out for the 5th inning. He leads the ball game by a 6-3 score. As we mentioned earlier, fellas, we head to the Charter after the game and head to the Valley of the Sun. The Braves will open up a big series with the Diamondbacks tomorrow night at 9 Eastern. And then we head to Los Angeles, where the Dodgers are off to a flying start. In fact, the Dodgers and D-backs are the teams atop the National League West.
Matt Kemp is off to an unbelievable start. Came so close to winning the MVP award last year. He's trying to put it away already in April. Diamondbacks look like they might be missing a couple of key outfielders too.
I'm gonna say they might catch a break with those two guys out, but I'll bite my tongue a little bit because I can't tell you how many times you go into a series thinking, oh, the two big guns are out, and whoever fills in does some damage. So got to be careful.
Well, the Diamondbacks too came within 1 game of going on to the National League Championship Series last year when they took Milwaukee to 7 games in the division series, or 5 games in the division series, and were playing great baseball at the end of the year. A little reminiscent of what the Rockies did a few years ago when they really got hot at the end of the year.
And their home ballpark is not a fun place for visitors to play. Dating back to last season, the Diamondbacks have won 25 of their last 30 games at Chase Field. So that's going to be a tough test for the Braves starting tomorrow night.
You talk about things being off your radar screen. I remember the series we did with them here. I don't know, was it June or July of last year, and they looked like the furthest thing from a playoff team. So they really got things turned around.
Kirk Gibson did a great job with that club in his first year. Still working on the field. Tommy, we were talking about that young man with the birthday, and I mentioned hockey. You guys enjoyed, you and your Little League team, Pee-wees, I think they are, got experienced a great trip to Quebec City. Talk about that real quick
that
before
was a
we get
blast.
started.
Well, for any hockey fans out there, it's the largest Pee-wee hockey tournament in the world, and it's generally, well, my son's 13, so 12-year-old hockey players, and you go to Quebec, you go for a week, and you play teams from all over the world. My boys, they got to play a team from Poland, a team from Austria, a number of teams from Canada. And it's a neat experience for the boys because they go and they stay with Canadian families. So,
cool.
You know, it's funny because they're all very apprehensive about it. And then once you get there and they meet the parents that they're staying with in the houses and whatever, it's like, no, Dad, I don't want to see you. I'm going back to the house.
A little low to Nieuwenhuis as Jurgens goes to work in the 5th.
It's a great experience.
Low. JJ's got to get through 5 with the lead to qualify for the win. He's got the top of the order coming up.
He needs to have the same aggressiveness he did against the bottom of the order last inning and feed off of that.
Lined over third, and Nieuwenhuis is aboard to start the inning. Martin cuts it off, and it's a sliding double for Nieuwenhuis. And Daniel Murphy's the next Mets hitter. Get your tickets for the Braves Ultimate Kids Day, Sunday, April 29th at Turner Field. Bring the family to cheer on the Braves and take advantage of great activities for the kids like a pregame parade, free Scouts Alley games, and free access to the Braves Museum. Get your tickets by phone 800-745-3000 or at Braves.com. Now David Ross out for a visit.
It's not too late in the game, and it's not a big enough deficit that the hitter would ignore, still trying to get that runner over to third base with nobody out. Try to get a run in and make it a 2-run deficit.
Yeah, 2-run deficit. The old bloop and a blast away from tying the game up. So that's kind of the general rule of thumb. If you can keep, or no, from a pitcher standpoint, when you're a 2-run lead is, yeah, you're still not real comfortable. A 3-run lead, you still feel like maybe you can make a couple mistakes.
Up the middle. That's a hit. Neuenhuis around third will be stopped. Bourne came up aggressively, was about 40 feet behind the second base bag and ready to fire to the plate. So now big time trouble, first and third, and here's David Wright.
This stop at third base was all based on one runner already getting thrown out at the plate when David Wright was gunned down earlier today. Tim Teufel playing it a little safer here and never really was going to give him a chance. I don't think Neuenhuis got a real good jump off that either. I think he froze some.
Yeah, you don't want to run into an out with this guy coming up.
Not with this guy coming up.
And this is what David Wright did last time up.
There's another one. He tried to go fastball inside and it leaked over the plate, and David, a good low ball hitter, drove that ball hard to center field, just missed getting it out of here. That was the pitch he was trying to make. And here's where you got to make a pitch. You got ahead of him away. Fastball in, get him off the plate. Now you got to decide, are you trying to get him out in again? You're going to double up, or are you going to try and get him something off the plate and make that pitch right here?
They went off the plate and Wright spoiled it. David wants to know if it was a strike. And as you see, he's been on base a ton. And on base once in 2 at-bats this afternoon. See a little vapor trail of water on that. That foul ball back at the screen.
Right on it.
Broken bat. Collision. Uggla from his knees. Can't make the throw. The ball gets away from Freddie Freeman. And all hands are safe. Neuenhuis scores. Murphy's at third. Wright's at first. It's an infield hit and a throwing error on Uggla, allowing Murphy to reach third base.
I just hope Dan's all right. He's walking around a little funny after that collision. Pasternicky couldn't get out of his way, and there's no way he could get much on the throw. But he kind of threw from an awkward position there on his knees, and I hope he didn't tweak his back a little on that. He's walking around funny.
3 straight hits to lead off the 5th. Chase Jair Jurgens in what's now a 2-run game. It brings home NYN, and it draws the Mets to within 2 runs. David Wright now alongside Darryl Strawberry for the most RBIs in Mets history.
And the good thing about that is that he spent his whole career with the Mets. So he's going to be the all-time leader, and to have been the guy who's been with the Mets his whole career, that's a good thing. It's a nice thing.
And that's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. And now the AT&T call to the bullpens answered by Christian Martinez. 3 straight hits start the 5th. That chases Jurgens. Now Christian facing Ike Davis, who's 2 for 2.
JJ, of course, not happy about coming out of the game in the 5th inning when he's got the lead and a chance to get his first win, but he's given up 7 hits and 4 walks today.
Pop fly, left side, foul ground, and just out of reach of Martin Prado. 0-2.
Another day where he could kind of slide into that wall. He might have made that effort to try to catch that ball with a sliding catch, but not in the mud.
Strikeout would be nice with nobody out. Into the seats again. Davis still alive.
Remember, that's how Jurgens got out of the 2nd inning. Struck out Tolle and got a double play from Cedeno.
I think for Martinez, you come into this situation, you think, all right, if I can keep that runner on first from scoring, get out of here with a lead, then I've done my job. And now with two strikes here, yeah, now you're thinking strikeout, and then hopefully get on to the next guy, maybe get a double play, get out of the inning. But you got to get this guy first.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Let's see what happens here. I mentioned that scouting report I read about Davis. Soft away early and then hard in late. Let's see where they go with this pitch. Up away again.
Slow roller. Runner coming home. So's Freddie. Lost the tag. That's 2 runners the Mets have had gunned down at the plate in this game. That's as good as a strikeout. Get the out, keep the run off, and the double play still in order.
Well, he wasn't going to have a play any chance at all to get a double play started. And with 1st and 3rd and nobody out, the guy at 3rd base wants to stay out of a double play, so you're going to force the action. And so they send Murphy, and he's a dead duck. So that worked out perfectly for Atlanta to get the first out at home.
Now you're potentially a ground ball from getting out of this 5th inning. 6-4 game with Jason Bay up. He's been walked twice today. Line toward left. Prado's there. Oh, did he look a little in between, Joe?
It was hooking big time, Chip. He may have been a little in between, but only because that ball was really hooking to his right. So he starts into his left, and then he's got to change directions, and then it was sinking too. So he really made a good play. Stay with it. That ball was smoked.
2 outs for Duda. One ball, 2 strikes.
Christian should be well rested. He hasn't worked in a week.
Uggla's got it. And what a job by Christian Martinez. The Mets score but 1 run in the 5th inning. 6-4 is your score. Braves back to work with Jason Hayward, Dan Uggla, and Freddie Freeman.
It's been a good homestand offensively. Guys are swinging the bats well. Really started in Houston, but some clutch hitting outside of that first game against New York here.
Jason Hayward 0 for 2. He struck out and he's popped out.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's an official contest right now. Four and a half with the home team leading.
Hayward's down swinging. 5th strikeout for R.A. Dickey. Fans, mark your calendars for the Braves Game on the Green Outdoor Festival Saturday, April 21st at 6 o'clock at the Duluth Town Green. Joe's already got his pregame speech ready to go. And you'll be able to watch Joe deliver it as the Braves play out west. Braves game will be on a huge outdoor movie screen with a live concert, inflatables for the kids, and a whole lot more. For more information, visit braves.com/gameonthegreen.
his first ever hit off R.A. Dickey. High knuckleball, high and deep to left. You know, guys, it's nice to be able to sit up here in a nice dry booth, but I always think about our camera operators out here in the elements, and we have some professional camera operators to be sure, but they know how to dress for the elements too. Check them out. Kevin Fay, got Smitty. Smitty's got about 5 layers on, I know. Kick glider up there at first base has probably got 4 or 5 on. Wayne Berry. They're ready.
Mid-season form.
Definitely listen to the forecast, no question about it.
They're prepared. All of them high and dry.
Down the left field line. Bay a long run. That's near the pole. It's an opposite field homer for Freeman. Wow. That's the last pitch of the game for R.A. Dickey. Our camera guys are high and dry. That last pitch was high and wet and gone. 8-4 game.
Freddie continues with that opposite field approach. Stayed inside that ball beautifully. And I'll tell you what, I think with the humidity today, ball's flying the way it does in the summertime.
Today in the dugout, we saw later Chipper come out and celebrate with Dan, and it took a while, but here he comes with Freddie too. That's great.
I'm not sure what it is, but seems to keep everybody loose.
That snaps that string of quality starts for R.A. Dickey too.
Yeah, he had 14 in a row coming into play today. 3 homers allowed. But that's not the most he's ever allowed in a big league game. More on that in a second as Francisco goes to work. Miguel Batista on the hill for the Mets.
Little shell shocked. Asking his catcher what happened. No reason to smile for both of those guys.
4 hits, 3 extra base hits, 3 RBIs. And 3 runs for Freeman after the day off.
Well, like Eric Hinsky told him last night, that's good coaching.
One ball, 1 strike. Yeah, Eric was ready to pinch hit. Instead, Freddie Gonzalez called on Francisco. Juan hit the home run. And immediately we had the shot of Eric going over and congratulating Freddie. Hey, nice job, Skipper. Francisco down. That's out number 2. R.A. Dickey's most home runs allowed in a game was 6. April 6th of 2006, while he was pitching with Texas, he gave up 7 runs total to the Tigers. And then Dave Laserbaker tells us he didn't pitch for another 2 years.
I think he'll be out there in 5 days this time.
I think so. Again, a little shell shock today because he's pitched so well since last May 15th. We showed you his ERA in there with some of the top pitchers in the game. 6th best ERA in baseball since last May 15th. Not today.
And that's a feeling I don't miss right there. Sitting there on the bench, scratching your head, trying to figure out what just went on.
I wanted to ask the catcher if you were telling them what was coming.
Something, yeah. Were you telling them what was coming? Was I tipping my pitches? Had to be something, not me. Couldn't have been me. I don't care how good you are. You're going to have those every now and then.
Ross 1 for 2. That sounded like a strike, but David got the call. 3-1. Anthony strike 3, and that retires the side. Freddie Freeman. He's got the opposite field swing working, doesn't he? R.A. Dickey serves up another homer. This one a 2-run shot. And it's an 8-4 Braves lead through 5. Up a 5-1 homestand. Good work for the home squad. as we once again check in with Beth Keener.
I am standing here by a picture of the young John Smoltz, and I have a question from Michael Sane on Twitter about Smoltz. He says now that John Smoltz is set to have his number retired, who would be next besides Chipper?
Fellas?
Boy, I don't know. I think after Chipper, it's going to be a little while, but
yeah, depends on how long a guy like Brian McCann might play, and he certainly would be getting some credit for having his number retired if he keeps up at this pace.
Now, I don't know the answer to this question, but does it have to be a number up on that board?
I don't know.
You can make the case for John Schultz, certainly.
Sure.
Put his initials on a pair of bright suspenders. There you go.
Yeah. Pocket square.
Right.
Slashed into the circle. You bet.
We just had the Braves annual leadoff luncheon yesterday. Joe did a great job of hosting the event at the 755 Club, and we were talking with Chipper Jones during the event. We asked Chipper what he hoped to be, or how he hoped to be remembered by his peers, his parents, and his kids when he hangs them up at the end of this year. You're a skinny little kid growing up in DeLand, Florida, #1 pick back in 1990. Would you ever have imagined when you were picked first overall that this would be the path that Chipper Jones' baseball life took?
I can always dream about it. I told my mother when I was 4 years old that I was going to play big league baseball. I can remember the day I was sitting there on the floor. I was watching the Dodgers play the Reds, Tony Kubek, Joe Garagiola, Saturday game of the week, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do right there. And so I'd be lying if I said I didn't dream about it. Realistically, no. There's no way. It's been a storybook career. For me, just to be able to live out my childhood dream, to stand, be the last team standing on the field at the end of a season, having won a World Series, been able to play with so many great players throughout the years. We're seeing all the numbers start to go up on the wall, and you'll see some of these guys start to go into the Hall of Fame, and it's truly been an honor and a pleasure.
Seems, guys, like he's very much at peace with his decision, and as he said yesterday, there's no turning back.
No, he can't turn back now. Now that he made that announcement, and you know, you've kind of I think that's the hard part, trying to figure out when the right time to do it is, and then once you do it, you live with it, you accept it, and move on. And like he said, I don't think his body's going to let him do much more anyway.
Well, he was consistent with you, Tom, with Maddox. I'm sure John will be the same way. Talking about teammates and how important they are to your success and how much he appreciated Chipper insinuating or implying that you, Maddox, Smoltz, Justice, whomever, Marquise Grissom, Javi Lopez, go on and on.
Fly ball by Tolley to center. That ball's really carrying. Michael Bourne tried the over-the-shoulder grab. Can't come up with it. And Tolley with a long leadoff double starts the Mets 6. This New York offense is something Terry Collins said he liked from opening day forward, and there's a lot to like. They aren't going away today.
This ball started slicing on Michael a little bit, so he started trying to maneuver back to his left to try to get in line to have a better look at it. But the more it sliced, the more difficult that catch became.
Here's Cedeno 0 for 2. What did you guys miss the most your first year, say, when you retired? The competition or the camaraderie?
For me, it's probably a little bit of both. You know,
Francisco. Easy play, no advance. Not the kind of at bat Cedeno wanted. The Braves will take it. 1 out.
You know, the camaraderie obviously is a big part of it. You enjoy coming to the clubhouse and goofing around with the guys and all the stuff that goes along with that. You know, from the other side of it, you know, I said to people, and it was probably true for a year or so, if I could go and pitch once every 5 days and compete and then not have to do anything in between the other 4 days, that probably would have been okay. But, you know, you find things to do to be competitive, but it's never quite the same as what you had when you're out there playing.
You miss those days where you Had trouble holding onto the steering wheel after a start?
No, those feelings that I had in my arm, no. Driving home and thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pitch again in 5 days? But no, that stuff, no, you don't miss that part of it. But that's what you have to go through sometimes in order to be able to do the things you want to do.
How about you, Joe?
I think it was my my autopilot clock that would go on, your body clock that goes on in spring training, or in January when you start working out, February when it's time to report. I missed that rush of adrenaline, and I missed the clubhouse too, and the guys.
Pinch hit single for Baxter. And the Mets have runners first and third now with one out. Back we go to the top of the order.
But there's nothing that compares with crossing the line. I mean, getting across the foul line and going on the field. There's nothing that compares to that great feeling of playing. Nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like it. I mean, you can try to, have your golf matches or whatever other leisurely activities you have where you have your little things going and you compete against somebody, but there's nothing like being out there and having that adrenaline and that drive to compete at something at this level.
So a good Twitter question. Let's hope Martinez can have a good result in his 6th, trying to protect a 4-run lead with the leadoff man Neuenhuis up. He scored twice today. Ruben Tejada has been their fill-in leadoff man. Andres Torres is their everyday leadoff guy, but he's got a bad calf. Tejada gets the day off. They slide Neuenhuis up there, and he's had a good day today. And it continues with a single to right. Tolley will score. Baxter stops at second, and it's an 8-5 game, and we're moving toward the part of that dangerous Mets lineup card.
This is the third time it seems like today that you're ready to give the Mets the standing 8 count. They're on the ropes and you think the fight's over, and the next thing you know, they come back and pop a couple jabs at you and you get right back in the game. I mean, like we've talked about this the whole series. This is a scrappy offense, and they're not going away.
Give you good professional at bats.
Here's Murphy. He's 1 for 2. All those things, Tom, you used to describe their offense, Joe, sounds a little like the personality of their manager, doesn't it?
Very much so. Durbin begins to loosen up. Terry Collins never played in the big leagues, but he spent a lot of time in AAA. I played with him. He was also a player coach. Learned a lot under Del Crandall, who's in the Braves Hall of Fame.
Double play ball, maybe. Good feed. High throw. Freeman could not hold the bag. Neuenhuis came barreling in at second, and Tyler unloaded too high and too late.
That wasn't a good feed, Chip. He got pulled up. Dan's toss went real high, pulled him up off the bag a little bit, which messed up his timing on his steps and almost caused an errant throw by Tyler.
Yep, you're right. Was higher than high. So bad call, bad break for the Braves, and now you have to face right with 2 on instead of the inning being over.
That's the worst part of it. Hottest hitter in the league.
Rain has stopped, and the sun's starting to shine a little more brightly at the ballpark.
David's out to the kind of start that if there was another league, he'd be getting called up.
Yeah, exactly.
2-0.
Well, I know it's not the conventional base that's open right now, but do not give in here. I'd rather face Ike Davis with the bases loaded than throw this guy a strike for the sake of throwing him a strike.
Pitched around him a couple of days ago, and the guy behind him hit a home run.
And it's the same man today, Ike Davis. 3 balls and a strike.
Oh. What was that?
Changeup.
Well, it was a beauty.
Now the question is going to be, do you go to something else, or do you trust yourself to throw that one nasty again 2 in a row?
He did. Oh, wow. Christian fell behind 3-0, and then he struck out David Wright. The Mets settled for 1 in the 6th. By the Georgia Lottery, by Honda Lawn and Garden, by McDonald's, and by Ram Trucks. Braves 8, Mets 5, bottom of the 6th inning. Atlanta trying to take 2 out of 3 from New York, and they'll take aim at a new Mets relief pitcher.
A guy that everybody likes, Bobby Parnell. Big arm, throws hard. Can throw in the mid-90s if he wants to, but I was told by some folks with the Mets that he's learning to pitch a little more with the 91, 92, 93, and then if he needs to go to 97, then he cuts it loose. Last year, 60 games, 64 strikeouts in 59 innings. He also walked 27. He was 4-6 with a 3.64 ERA.
I think he's a guy that we've talked about in the past that they would love with his stuff to become the closer, but when they've given him the opportunity to do it, it just hasn't worked out as well as it has when he pitches in other roles.
Tyler Pastornicki, the pitcher spot, then Michael Bourne due for Atlanta. And look who's waiting on deck. Liner foul. 1-2.
The old adage of a guy coming off the bench cold to pinch hit late in the game, that doesn't exist anymore. Those guys are getting a lot of cuts in the batting cage during the game if they want them. Talk sometimes, Chip, about how the game's changed, you know, what's different about it. I mean, there are a lot of things that have changed for the better, and that's one of them. The indoor cages for both sides, workout facilities.
Parnell trying to backhand stab. It bounces right to the shortstop, Cedeno, and he throws it into the seats. Boy, the Mets defensively in this series have had several problems, and that's a big one. And a big cheer for Chipper.
Looked like Cedeno might have gotten him too with a good throw. Who knows? Ball might have been wet too.
They ruled that a straight error?
Yes.
Two-base error. And here is Chipper. First swing of the day for Chipper is driven deep toward left. Back at the wall. Ball off the glove of Bay. Pasternak here out third. Relay throw Cedeno. It's going to be late. Amazing.
He's having a great time. Got a high fastball from that hard thrower. Almost hit it out. Jason Bay's made two great catches in this ballpark in the last 2 years to take away homers and had room for this one. He just missed it. Just flat missed it.
That's ruled an error. No RBI. And foul off the bat of Michael Bourne.
I don't buy that one. Should he have caught it? Probably so. But it wasn't like it went off his glove or anything. It was off the wall on the fly. Maybe from the official scores standpoint, it looked like he dropped it, but he didn't.
Mike Stamos has the official scoring duties today. That one might get reviewed after the ball game. But for now, it's back-to-back errors for the Mets and a 9-5 Braves lead.
Haven't heard from the pitcher delegation, though.
He's awfully quiet.
He may have a contrary opinion to that one.
I mean, probably should have caught it, but I'll be honest with you, hometown scoring, I'm surprised I scored it an error.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That's not an easy job.
No.
Bourne continues his great work on the homestand. Chipper will round third. He's running free and easy, and he'll score standing up. 2 more hits for Michael.
And another hit with a runner in scoring position for Atlanta. Nice quick short stroke on that pitch inside. Pulled his hands in to get the barrel to it. Nicely done.
At the start of game 2 of the series, the Braves were 1 for their first 21 with runners in scoring position against the Mets. They were 4 for 10 last night. They're 4 for 7 today. And lead 10-5. And it's only the 6th inning.
Mets have had a ton of opportunities too, though, Chip. I can't believe how many opportunities they've had in this series. 30 with runners in scoring position. They're 10 for 30. They left 10 men on base last night. They've left 7 today. They've actually outhit the Braves today, 10-9.
7-2. R.A. Dickey started for New York. Gave up 3 homers. And that's at the knees. Martin Prado not sure. 1 out. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week where the Yankees will be where, fellas?
I don't even have to look at that promo. I know where it'll probably be.
Adrian Gonzalez and the Red Sox lie in wait. It's the first series of the season between the Yankees and Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central.
There's another team that's joined the American League that's going to be on TV soon too. New team, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. People across America might get to see them once or twice this summer.
Never know. Low, 1 ball, no strikes. Just a bit of controversy in Boston this week.
Wow.
Between that and a 4-7 start will be a compelling broadcast on Saturday, I'm sure. Bourne broke for second, slammed on the brakes, got back to first, and is mad at himself.
He got such a good jump, he stopped and said, I can't possibly keep going. He's going to step off. Didn't. And now he's saying, I knew I should have kept going.
Here's the 2-0. Jason taking pitches so well in the first 2 weeks of the year. 7-game hitting streak. Started the day at .361 for his batting average. Very encouraging signs for Hayward. Bourne's running, and Jason smacks it foul. Back to first goes Michael. 10-5 Atlanta in the 6th. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff and the low price, approaching the bottom of the 2 o'clock hour in Atlanta. Braves playing good ball today, lead the Mets, and hope to win the series. Again, Michael runs. That's tipped and caught, and Bourne in safely with his 6th steal, and he's at second with 2 out.
No going back this time. He was leaning and almost had his crossover step in place by the time Parnell went to the plate. Yeah, on top of whatever issues were going on with the Red Sox in their clubhouse and off the field, on the field yesterday, they got to be 18-3 by Texas.
The Texas ball club's pretty good.
I bet they are.
Rangers 9-2, winners of 5 straight. A 3.5 game lead over Seattle already in the AL West. Baltimore leads the AL East. The Tigers lead the AL Central. Division leaders in the National League, Washington, St. Louis, and the Dodgers. That pitch at 99, and Uggla fouled it straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a foul ball.
After talking about how Parnell is trying to pitch, you know, only go to that really hard fastball when he needs it. After giving up a couple here, he's kind of ditched that and gone back to, I'm just going to let it go.
Get back to my changeup's going to be throwing the next pitch harder than I did the last one.
Yes. Ozzie Guillen returned to manage the Marlins last night, and make of it whatever you will. They've been averaging somewhere between 35 and 40,000 per game. Last night they had 24,000.
Smallest crowd in the brief history of the new Marlins Park. Three and 2 the count. And Uggla is down on strikes. 2 more runs come across in the Atlanta 6th inning. Smiles all around for the Braves. Straight A's again for Atlanta here in the series wrap up. Ball's jumping at the ballpark. 10 runs on 9 hits for the Braves. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Mets. Christian Martinez followed Jair Jurgen's first out of the Braves bullpen. Now the next man to answer the AT&T call down there is right-hander Chad Durbin.
Chad's going to try to get back on track. He's had a rough start here after the Braves signed him when he was released by the Nationals. See that high ERA. 3 innings, he's given up 3 homers. He's got a streak going back to last year where he's allowed a home run in 7 straight outings. So today's the day, along with this good hitting, to get a good outing and put an end to that streak.
And a tough part of the lineup to work through. It's the middle of the Mets attack. Davis, Bay, and Duda here in the 7th. Another good pitch, 0-2.
Just missed inside.
Tipped and caught. David Ross hangs on. Good start to the top of the 7th for Chad Durbin. Braves fans new this year, as Joe mentioned, all kinds of great season ticket plans are available. If you buy a ticket plan of 20 games or more, you'll get 33% off food and beverages at Turner Field. Visit Braves.com/food or call 404-577-9100 to purchase your season ticket package today. Rough series for Jason Bay here in Atlanta. Yes, he's hit a homer. He's had some adventures in left field. He's capitalized on virtually every one of them. There's a line drive into left center field. Prado cuts it off. And Jason Bay has a 1-out 7th inning hit.
He's showing signs of coming out of his New York funk he's been in for 2 years.
He's had some good at bats this series. Hit some balls hard.
Strike to Duda. Even with a 5-run lead, don't want to face this guy with runners on. Look at what the Delta Airlines on deck batter Josh Tolley has done to the Braves.
They just announced that that ball chipper hit to left has been changed to a double and an RBI all the way. 1 earned run out of the 2 in the 6th.
Little flare over short. That's going to drop in cleanly. Bay singles. Duda singles. And now you do have to face Tolley with 2 runners on.
Here they come again.
Yeah, even with a Ric Flair to left, they just don't seem to want to call it a day.
And when the opposing team hits the Ric Flairs, those are boos, not woos.
Yes, they are.
Tolley, the 8th best batting average in the National League so far. He came in at 370 and is 1 for 3 today.
So Flaherty up. He worked a good inning last night.
Had some tilt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little chopper to the mound. Durbin retires Tolley. Runners move up to second and third. Cedeno bats with 2 down.
Yeah, if you're Chad Durbin, get this guy, have a good outing to build on for the next time out.
Strike one. David Ross held it there an extra second. Didn't get the call. Even count.
Not pitching around him for the pitcher's spot. That'll be handled by a pinch hitter.
Three and two.
Made some good pitches. Daniels laid off a couple and spoiled a tough one right there. So Durbin's doing what he wants to do in terms of being a little bit sharper and a little bit better in terms of his location and where he wants it. Now he just needs to get the result he needs.
Loses Cedeno. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Hairston will pinch hit.
If you remember, we talked about this last night. 2 outs, the Mets have been a dangerous club offensively.
A chance to really get back in the game right here.
Bases full, 2 outs. Strike one.
They were hitting .302 coming into the game today with 2 outs and had 7 home runs with 2 outs. Hairston tried to hit another one right there.
You bet he did. 0-2.
Mets have gone in order only 7 times in this series. 3 times on Monday, 3 last night. All of those were real late. And then once today, and that was the first inning. Make it twice today, beg your pardon. First and the 4th.
And with the lineup turning over again, you know you're going to have to face Wright, Davis, and Bay one more time in this game. Question is, how big will the Atlanta lead be? Right now it's 10-5. 0-2. Now 2-2. Outside corner, Hairston took it, and the Mets leave him loaded. Big pitch for Durbin. 7th inning stretch time. Head to the desert after this ball game and open up a series tomorrow night against a very tough ball club, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
With some good pitching, too. 25 of the last 30 home games. Chip told you about that earlier. They'll face the real funky Josh Colementor in the first game, who doesn't throw over the top. He almost throws from behind his head. Trevor Cahill, who they acquired in the offseason, good-looking pitcher, had a good outing his last time out, and then a couple of veterans, Joe Saunders and Ian Kennedy, who are excellent pitchers. Saunders not off to the best start, or as good a start as last year, but Kennedy is. Saunders actually 1-0. So it'll be a tough test, all 4 games.
We'll see and hope that, we'll hope Chipper's knee has no difficulties on the long flight out west. Remember, the knee swelled up flying from Houston back to Atlanta. Chipper has an RBI double in a pinch hit appearance today. Now Freddie Freeman, Juan Francisco, and David Ross go to work against Tim Burdack.
And on those pitchers for Arizona, let me straighten that out. Saunders actually 1-0 with a 0.64 ERA. It's Colementor who's off to a tough start with a 12 ERA. And Ian Kennedy already 2-0.
More good work for Freddie Freeman today. He's doubled and he's homered. He scored twice. He's knocked in 2.
Another opposite field shot. Last batter faced by R.A. Dickey. Only lefty in their bullpen, and he's not given up a run.
I would think that's real tough to do in this day and age of Major League Baseball. Carry one left-hander in your pen.
You better have a guy like Medlin who can get both sides out to give you a little leverage.
Yeah, you got to have at least one of those guys if you don't have multiple left-handers, and especially in this division.
And Burdick gave the Mets a scare in spring training because he suffered a torn meniscus in his knee and had to have surgery March 13th. And he was on their active roster opening day, April 5th.
See, Tommy, how fast guys come back. There's still time for you. Jamie Moyer won last night, for crying out loud.
Did he?
Yep. Tip of the cap to him.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Way to go, Jamie.
Yeah, way to go, Jamie. Happy for you, and I'm happy where I'm at.
Freddie down swinging. First out in the Atlanta 7th. Get tickets for the 2012 Braves Hall of Fame luncheon. John Smoltz will get his just desserts. He'll be inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame on June 8th at the Omni Hotel. Braves Club will be there. Braves Hall of Famers will be there. And every guest will have a current or former Braves player or coach at your table. Call 404-614-2310 for more information or to order your tickets today. We talked about this in the series. That's one of the highlights of every Braves season. The Hall of Fame luncheon.
Do they have a waiting period? Those Chipper going in next year? Or do they have a grace period?
How long did you wait? A couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah, a couple of years.
The first couple of years, the boat was 500, and they waited till at least it shifted to the positive side.
Francisco down swinging.
Believe that. Add them up, guys. I think that's 8 straight outs by strikeout versus Atlanta.
Yep. Going back to the start of the 5th inning. But a walk, an error, and 2 extra base hits. Sandwiched in between all those strikeouts. Plated 4 more runs. And they're biggies, 10-5 the game. Ball 1 to David Ross. Question is, where do you put John's number?
I think it ought to go right between Tom and Greg. They all belong together.
I don't know. That'd be nice. I don't know if they'd slide Bobby over or
just space everybody up. Move Jackie over to that other, around the corner there.
Yeah.
To the end of that beam. How's that? That'd give enough room.
What a nice problem to have, huh? Well, guys, we don't have enough space to retire all of our numbers.
Be catching up to the Yankees in a year now.
Two balls and a strike. Ross aboard with a walk. Pasternicki will face Burdack with 2 outs. Tyler's reached twice today. Once on the Cedeno error, once on a force play. He's also scored a run. Nice piece of hitting for Pasternicki. A single through the hole on the right side. And now Matt Diaz will be announced as a Braves pinch hitter. He bats for Durbin. Ding dong, the streak is dead for Chad Durbin. Good riddance. Remember way back when R.A. Dickey and Jair Jurgens started this game. Jurgens went 4 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits. Christian Martinez 2 innings of relief. Durbin 1. Atlanta tagged R.A. Dickey for 8 runs, 3 homers. Batista, Parnell, and Burdack have followed him. Back foul out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Uggla, Freeman, and Francisco have homered today. That trio scored 5 runs and have knocked in 6. That's production in the middle of your order, isn't it?
Take that every day.
out of play. 2-2. Guys, how about the offense going on this upcoming road trip? Arizona and Dodger Stadium. 6 games, the Braves have scored 39 runs. Sweeping Milwaukee, great position to take 2 out of 3 against the Mets.
Yeah, it was just that first game against New York, and on this homestand anyway, where things didn't go their way, and it was Dylan G.
Diaz sprays one to right. That bounces in front of Duda. And another run will score to make it 11-5. Ross scores from second. Tyler all the way around to third.
With 2 outs, if you're going to hit a little dunker to Duda, that's the time to do it. So the runners can be off with the crack of the bat. They don't have to worry about whether or not the ball is going to be caught or not. So an easy score for David Ross. First to third for Tyler. And a good job by Matt. The pinch hitters in the 9th spot both have done a good job today.
A Chipper with an RBI double. Diaz now with an RBI single. Now the Braves lead by 6.
First run allowed by Burdick.
Off the heel of his glove. He'd better hurry. He won't have a play. It's 12-5.
God, I love these kind of hits off a left-hander if you're Michael Bourne. After struggling against him in the beginning of the year, pick up a hit like this, that just kind of helps even the ledger a little bit.
Herdak is chased. Braves have tacked on 2 more in the 7th and lead 12-5. Strikeouts, but a walk and 3 singles later, he's out of the game with 2 more runs in, and John Roush on for the 7th time.
Not the kind of game you want to have to bring your setup man into, but he's the 4th guy out of their pen already today. With only 1 lefty in your pen, you don't want to wear him out even if they have an off day tomorrow. Ramon Ramirez pitched 2 innings last night.
many good things you can count on when you have a knuckleballer on your staff. You usually count on R.A. Dickey, regardless of the score, to be able to get the game into the 7th inning almost every time. As Joe said, Dickey came in with 14 straight quality starts. But Atlanta roughed him up after 4 innings and a third. He was gone. So that's deep into their bullpen in the series wrap up today. And Prado straightaway center will retire the side. That ends a long string of outs via the strikeout for the Braves. But Atlanta adds 2 more in the 7th inning and leads the game 12-5 heading to the 8th.
The super slow motion, you can really track some pitches today. These knuckleballs, especially a line shot by Freddie Freeman. This home run on a fastball actually from Dickey to Francisco. That knuckleball taken the other way by Michael Bourne, and then that high knuckleball hit into the seats by Dan Uggla for his first home run of the year. That's fun to watch when you can see the spin or lack of it on the baseball. Those are our Toyota plays of the game.
The AT&T call to the bullpen made now as we head to the top of the Mets order. It's Livan Hernandez. Neuenhuis, Murphy, and Wright are scheduled. Fly ball right center. Jason Hayward on the run, still going. This one off the base of the fence. Mr. Neuenhuis has had himself a day at the top of the order, hasn't he, fellas?
He's making a statement, that's for sure.
Three hits, 2 doubles, 2 runs, a stolen base, and a run batted in.
Last year before he got hurt, he was at Buffalo. He hit .298 with 6 homers. A career .280 minor league hitter.
Murphy. He's got a hit. His second of the day. And Neuenhuis scores without a play to make it a 12-6 game. 2-hit game for Murphy. 6 RBIs for the year.
Neuenhuis's injury was a torn labrum in his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. That's an odd one for a left-handed batter. Sometimes you pull your shoulder out of joint or something with a high finish. Remember David Justice used to have a problem with that at times, straining his right shoulder, but his left shoulder was the one that was hurt.
A strike to David Wright. Right on base 2 more times today. 2 strikes.
Driven in 11 runs in his last 10 games against Atlanta.
Braves fans know how Mets fans feel when Chipper Jones comes to town, huh?
I was going to say, you know, Chipper, he named his kid Shea. I don't know what David's going to name his kid if he keeps this up.
Turner sounds fine. Fly ball shallow center. The man to your right might say Joe would be a good name too.
Joe is a good name.
1 on, 1 out.
Don't want to be just your average Joe.
Sundays on Fox Sports South. Join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Buck O'Neil. Boys in the Hall, Sundays presented by Subway, restaurants where winners eat.
Average Joe Vincius, our producer, would like to talk to you when this game's over.
I mean, I'm not referring anybody to anybody that is within earshot of me
or arm's length.
That too.
Braves are up 12-6, and the Mets actually have more hits.
They've stranded their own personal Gilligan's Island, though. They've left 10 guys on base through 7 and have another man on here in the 8th. Another little pop. This one's going to be caught, though. 2 outs.
And had 2 more thrown out at the plate.
Yeah. We won't see the Mets for a while. Next time we'll catch up with Terry Collins' crew will be mid-June. On a long homestand here at Turner Field. Toronto, Yankees, and the Orioles.
There's another quirk about the schedule you mentioned earlier that struck me is that we just saw the Brewers. We don't see them until September again. And then we have the Pirates coming in the next homestand in April, and we close the season with them.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, so a big gap between the Pirates too.
I goofed that up, guys. We don't see it until July. Wrong New York team. M stands for Mets last time I checked.
Yes.
Y stands for Yankees. So we'll see the Mets in July. Bouncing ball short. Pasternicki to Ugly. That, I believe, is the 3rd out of the inning. And we head to the bottom half. Ball Atlanta 12-6 is your score.
A lot of homers and hugs today for the Braves. That home run right there by Francisco in the second inning, the third inning. Dan Uggla got on the board for the first time this year. A deep home run to the left field bleachers. A little handshake and a hug from Chipper, saying welcome to the party. And in the fifth inning, Freddie Freeman continued his hot hitting. The home run as well into the left field bleachers, and had to wait a little while, but Chipper showed up, gave him some love, and finally a little hug. So it's been all smiles and home runs down in the Braves dugout today, so it's been a good day.
3 more outs to get. It'll be a happy flight to Phoenix.
That was one of the themes of the St. Louis Cardinals last year. Happy flight. Try to leave each town with a win. It's on their World Championship rings. See if the Braves can follow that advice the rest of this day. They're in good position, up 12-6 for Jason Hayward. He'd like to get in on the fun.
Is it really on their rings?
I believe so, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That and the rally squirrel. A rally squirrel.
Well, that's not so much.
Yeah.
Francisco's their closer, just getting some work.
Hey, Hayward does have a hit right down the line, and look at him fly around first on his way to second. He's going to go to third, and he's going to make it easily. 8-game hitting streak for Hayward. And his second triple.
Middle of the plate and up. Barreled it right down the line. And then you get to watch him run. That's fun. Everybody with a hit. Top of the order, Bourne has 3. The bottom of the order, the 9th spot in the order, has 3, including one by J.J. Jurgens.
14 hits in total today. Infield in for the Mets. Here's Uggla. And a late called strike. Good stop. You guys pointed out earlier in the series how Tolley sometimes backhands the ball when he tries to catch it. You can understand that with R.A. Dickey, because it really is a defensive position trying to catch the knuckleball. Is there a carryover effect to the rest of the staff for Tolley with the way he sometimes receives the baseball?
I think there's very much a possibility of that it kind of creates a bad habit that you're stabbing at that knuckleball a lot, especially one down low, and it could lead to you doing it all the time, something he's got to break against everybody else. That was a good stop he made on that shift.
Murphy with a terrific stop took away a hit and a run for Uggla.
If the infield's back, that has a great likelihood of being a hit and at the very least an RBI.
Yeah, most of the time that drawn in infield will get you a base hit, but I agree with you, Joe. I think that's one of the few times where it probably cost him a base hit because of where he was playing.
High fly center. That's going to be deep enough to score Hayward. A big day for Freddie Freeman. 3 RBIs. 13-6.
Good to see that big smile back on Freddie's face, too.
Not a bad day when you can double your RBI total for the year. Base is clear. It's the all Francisco matchup.
talking earlier, Tom, about spring training and how you're working on things to get ready for the season. You don't have to really worry about the results, and that was something that the Mets were a little concerned about with Francisco in spring training because he had a bad spring.
Yeah,
sure enough.
Yeah, it can go both ways. I mean, you want to have some success, even though the results don't matter. You still want to have some success. You want to see guys putting together some pitches and you know, and doing some things. And if you have a bad inning or, you know, a bad outing here or there, then you tend to blow it off. But you do want to see some progress.
Well, the bell rang and he got off to a good start.
Francisco hits a bullet to right. That's off the wall. Bay and Nieuwenhuis and Duda might need some oxygen. They've been running around all day today. Another extra base hit.
I'm going to tell you something, folks. The ball jumps off this kid's bat. It's a big swing, but when he gets extension, that one was down and in. The ball just fires off his bat. Pinch hit homer last night, a home run today, and now this one-hop rocket to right.
David Ross. Most runs, most hits in a game for the Braves so far this season. 13 runs, 15 hits. And 1.
Hang on to win, make it a 5-1 homestand against a team that was in the American League Championship Series last year. It's always dangerous in Milwaukee, and a team that swept you in New York. I think the team should feel very good about it.
Yeah, we said at the start of the series, Braves owed the Mets a little payback.
Yeah.
Play foul, full count. Our next opponent's Arizona. They will host Pittsburgh. That game gets started in about 20 minutes or so. Reds are in St. Louis. Nationals will host Houston. Cubs are in Miami. Phillies in San Francisco. The Dodgers in Milwaukee. Ross lines it over David Wright's head. That's in for a hit. And Francisco in with the 14th run. Ross is safe at second. He got in around the tag.
Boy, that ball was way in on him.
I was chasing him, but somehow he kept his hands inside it.
Foot got around the tag to the base. Then I thought his foot slipped off right here, but no tag. There's no tag still on him.
So some fancy footwork for David Ross.
It's 3 RBIs for him in 2 starts.
Braves have scored in every inning of this game except the first and fourth.
And right now you got 3 pitchers with totally different mindsets. Levon is hoping like heck we get one more hit and he can get in that bat. And you got 2 guys in the Mets bullpen that are hoping like heck for one more out and they don't have to get in here and pitch in this thing.
Another one of those situations that we see so often, and I think we saw it on Sunday when Axford came in for Milwaukee. Non-safe situation, just not the adrenaline flow, not the edge that some closers need to be effective. Looks like he was going to stay in and pitch the 9th inning. Don't know whose helmet he had to borrow if he gets up there.
Full count. Sharply hit. Oh, Murphy flagged it down. And that will retire the side. We go to the 9th. Braves try to finish off a great homestand. Great way to have a happy flight to the desert Southwest, where we'll meet the sizzling snakes of Arizona. And then we head to Los Angeles. Kemp and Ethier and Clayton Kershaw perhaps lying in wait at Dodger Stadium. There's the broadcast schedule. Or actually, here's what's in store on the trip. Look in depth at Arizona and the Dodgers.
Dodgers have had a schedule here early on where they haven't had to leave Southern California until this series started up with Milwaukee. They've been playing the Padres and then at home also with the Pirates.
So you couldn't come up with anything for the Dodgers, huh? Sizzling snakes, but nothing for the Dodgers?
The dazzling Dodgers. How about that? Does that work for you?
That's all right. I know you can do better.
I'm looking forward just to seeing Vin Scully. Right? Missed the opener for the Dodgers. Missed a couple of games with a serious cold. I understand he was back at work in the booth at Dodger Stadium. You talk about highlights of the year. Getting a chance to say hi to him is certainly one of them. New ownership for the Dodgers. Magic Johnson's group. Maybe we'll see Stan Kasten out there.
When will that take place? I mean, when do they take over? Is that a May 1 deal?
That sounds right, but I don't know for sure. Maybe Dave can look up the exact date. Fly ball off the bat of Duda to straightaway center. Actually born to a few steps into left center field for the first out in the 9th inning.
Yeah, what I remember was that they wanted to have a purchaser in place by April 1 and a closing by April 30.
Mike Nikias hits in the ninth. Well, look, it goes without saying. I'll say it anyway. The health of the National League teams in New York and Los Angeles, how they go is really important as to what happens with the rest of not only the National League but Major League Baseball. And the stability now for the Wilpons and the Dodgers in Los Angeles is good for everybody. Nikias skies out to center. One more out to get coming up on Braves Live, presented by AT&T. The Freddie Gonzalez postgame press conference, locker room sound, and plenty of highlights today. The Braves have worn out a terrific Mets pitching staff in this series. 14 runs today, 9 yesterday. Real good work at the plate.
Might not have time for all that other stuff. Just show highlights. That'll fill the whole show.
Hi once again, everybody. Here are the highlights and recap. So long. Until next time.
Yeah, here are the highlights. Watch this for about a half an hour.
Jack Buck used to say, thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. One ball, 2 strikes. Great accomplishment for the ball club. A 5-1 homestand. Sweep of Milwaukee, 2 of 3 against New York.
I got to admit, I had my doubts after the sweep of Milwaukee. Glavine shows up. Team loses. He was on probation until last night, but earned his stripes, and today looking good.
I went down and told the boys to pick it up a notch. So.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's where it's a good thing to have that screen up, or somebody would be getting some dental work.
Another 3-2 pitch.
Good ability by Cedeno to hang in there on that one. That pitch was thrown right at him and then curved.
Popped up. Jason Hayward, shallow right. And the Braves clobber the Mets 14-6. They take 2 out of 3 from New York. They wrap up the homestand with a 5-1 mark. And we head to the West with a 7-5 record overall. Plenty of good things to talk about when we come right back.